What's up? Look at his whiskers. The cat did it, not me. Hey, what's up? My name's Layla and welcome to this. Today, I'm gonna be doing the poem called The Clod and The Pebble by William Blake. It's 2020. I haven't did this thing in I didn't do it in a lot. You see, I didn't do poem analysis videos in a long time, so I have risen from the dead and I am here to do William Blake's poem, The Clod and the Pebble, which I don't know. It's a nice poem. It's short. I chose it because it's short. Because also it has a lot of depth in perspectives. I hate perspectives, by the way, because it makes my head crazy. This poem, it's a bit crazy, I don't know, but yeah, William Blake, I like how he wrote the poem, I like how he structured it. It was really smart the way he did it. And a bit about the guy. I'm just gonna read off. My cat is awake. I don't know if she wants to go out of my room, but yeah, she's awake. But anyway, let me just read this quickly and then I'll just open the door for her. William Blake, born in 1757, died in 1827. So he was ancient. He was an English poet, painter, and printmaker. So he was involved in all the arts, all of it, though he was largely unrecognized during his lifetime. And only now, now that he's dead, his work is considered cool and studied. His work that is like really famous for is his concepts of innocence and experience in his writing. We're gonna look at this poem, The Clod and the Pebble, but if you want to read more or know more about his concepts of innocence and experience, it is largely depicted in the poem The Tiger and the Lamb. But this poem depicts both of his perspectives, but it's not into the extreme as those other poems, the Tiger and the Lamb. The Clod and the Pebble, let's just get into it, hey? Oh, she's licking herself on the bed, so I think she's gonna sleep for like maybe another 2 hours or so. So we're just gonna get into it, the poem. Okay, so looking at the poem, it has 12 lines going down. The Clod and the Pebble, the title itself displays these polarities between the two, of being the clod being malleable and, shapeable, and the pebble being fixated and hard, rigid persona and perspective. The rhyme scheme AB AB is apparent in the poem as we see it in the words: please care ease the spare, clay feet brook meet, please delight ease despite. So he wrote this in a very clever way, I think, of being the first stanza relating and solely fixated on the clod's perspective. And the second stanza is like a bridge of consciousness connecting the two perspectives. And then the last stanza relating to the pebbles perspective. Yeah, we're gonna get into the poem now. The first stanza relating to the clod, who is this malleable, shapeable persona. Love seeketh not itself to please. Love doesn't exist to please itself, nor for itself hath any care, but for another gives its ease, and builds a heaven in hell's despair. So love is this giving force to the clod, and we enter into the realm of innocence, where the clod displays the selfless and amazing perspective that is not clouded by anything that obstructs its way to give less of itself. It solely exists to give and to love without measure. It gives it freely and expresses passion without expecting anything in return. Love simply is to the clod, and the clod is capable of expressing, a heavenly love despite difficult circumstances. And we will see these difficult circumstances in the next lines. So sung a little clod of clay, trodden with the kettle's feet. So, trodden with the kettle's feet, suggesting, giving us the idea that, the clod is in the state whereby it is being trampled by the kettle's feet. It's not in a very comfortable external state, for it's being trampled on every time with the kettle, but with the kettle's feet. So it's being trampled, pushed around, and in all places at once. But despite all of that, it does still sing of love and giving, and it's just full of gratitude. Line 7. But a pebble of the brook wobbled out these meters meet. So now we're being introduced to the pebble. But a pebble of the brook. The pebble is in the river by the brook, and one can imagine that there's a flowing stream, like water is being it's flowing constantly, and water, is this flowing purity, purification. I sometimes need to just the way I am with words. So flowing purity of water flows through the pebble, leaving it unchanged. So water is this force, this purification force that leaves, it flows over the pebble, yet it leaves it unchanged, hence blinded in not noticing the flowing water that runs through it. Also showing us the pebble will not change. And line 8 indicating this to be a change and shift, introducing the pebble. Wobble out his meat. Whereas the clod, filled with this love and optimism and gratitude, remains this forgiving and flexible entity, just being there, giving off good vibes. In this stanza, lines 5 to 8, is this bridge of consciousness. I I think it just connects the Clod and the Pebble perspectives together. The brook symbolically represents the connection between the realm of innocence and experience. Also, it's ironic, right? It's ironic because the Clod and the Pebble, the Clod is going to essentially be a pebble, and the pebble was once a Clod. So after years and years of, just geological processes, the pebble became the pebble because that is just how, you know, um, it worked out. But the Clod remains, this loving, innocent entity, kind of like, if you look at it like children and adults. Like, children are innocent, they just full of love, most of them. And, they grow up seeing adults, and, adults are just this different type of breed, um, having their own views, their own ideas, different from children. Innocence experience. Clod and the Pebble. Which brings us to the last stanza, and this is solely on the pebble's perspective. Love seeketh only itself to please, to bind another to its delight. Joy in another's loss of ease, and builds a hell in heaven's despite. So the pebble contrasts the clod's views on love. Seemingly, making love to be a suffocating force that's egotistical and selfish, that only and solely exists to please itself for one's own gain, despite where the pebble is. So the pebble is not in a bad place, right? The pebble is in a river, it's chilling, it's, living its life. Nice. But it still remains unchanged. It's not being trampled on like how the Clod is being trampled on. No, it's been nice in the water and just living its life. But it's singing, and it's having this negative view of love being, love is, this egotistical thing to the pebble. He doesn't see anything good in it. He says love builds a hell in heaven's despite. So love is this thing that solely exists to bring about hell and take away your joy and suffocate you. That is what the pebble is suggesting. And there is truth in both of these perspectives. It's not that, one is better than the other, because it's mutually agreeable for both of them. So that was the poem, The Clod and the Pebble, and I hope I made sense of it. And yeah, I haven't did these poems in like the analysis of it in a while, so that is why. Yeah, I mean, I chose to do it because I know a lot of learning now has become online and switched to digital platforms. And I mean, I studied this poem a few years ago, but it was like along with other poetry, to write essays on it. But I hope I explained that concept of innocence and experience and gave you a cool idea of how the structure of the poem is. He has rock in his head. He's a clod. He's a pebble. I don't know what he is. Yeah. Okay. Either way, if you liked it and it helped you, um, subscribe, share. Also, let me know. Critique me. You know, critique me. Tell me what I missed, what things I need to improve on, stuff like that. And yeah, I will be back with more poems. I just don't know when. You know, new channel, new stuff, and I will be back soon. Thank you, and be safe, and take care of yourself, and don't touch your face. Goodbye. Goodbyes. Goodbye. Goodbye.